Hello, collective. I hope that you're all doing well. Two things. When I was meditating on the energy, I was hearing the word for smile in Spanish, and I was also hearing Burbank. So yeah, those two things were coming through. All right, we are here with a timeless reading. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with the highest good. Okay, I'm seeing a decision. Having to do with plans or meeting with somebody or a group of people. I'm seeing the past being brought back up or a familiar face. Something here that you're taking upon yourself to do. Six of Cups, King of Wands, Queen of Swords. I'm seeing you not want to let something happen and you feel like you need to be the one to step in and do something about that. This can be you with yourself, it can be you with another person, but I'm seeing like you had to initiate something here. This feels like setting boundaries. This can be with somebody that you're familiar with, but it can also be for you not to step back into old patterns that you've grown out of and don't want to return back to. We're gonna get further and see what this is. Yeah, you can be analyzing your own behavior and being like, no, I'm familiar with that path. I'm not trying to go back down that again. Or this can be like somebody acting funny around you and you're like, I recognize that. Maybe it's best that I'm not around that for right now. But yeah, it's like kicking something up within you. Cancer's coming through strongly. I'm seeing you be very in your head about something. It's definitely linked to the past for sure. For you. Or like a person, not a new person. This is somebody that you know well. Yeah, this is a person. Okay. Some of you, this is related to your financial situation. I was seeing the King of Pentacles. I'm also looking at Virgo popping out. Yeah, I'm seeing something that's like really got you caught up mentally, but you reflecting on it is going to sort of reveal what you need to do here. Again, I'm seeing something start bubbling up and you're like, I don't want to go down that path. I know what that feels like. It's very familiar to me. Like I know that shadow area very well. Which is a great thing because through reflecting, it like brings light to the shadow and then you transmute it into light energy, which is just awareness. Shadow is like unconscious stuff, like a lack of awareness. Light is bringing awareness, bringing knowledge, bringing understanding to something. So there's a transmutation here that's happening. However, if you are in a spot where you're like, I'm not going to reflect on this, then you wouldn't be transmuting the energy because you're not bringing light to the shadow. So that's why the reflecting is so important. But it could have been something that it was like hard to get yourself into this space to reflect on it. And also, it just feels very complicated to unravel this, but I'm getting that it doesn't take too long before you sort of understand what needs to be understood here. You could have also recognized that your shadow was really confusing something, or somebody was confusing a situation. Okay, so, oh, I'm hearing that you're going into an indefinite pause. There's a pulling away here that's happening, but it's because you want to take a step back from a particular space. Okay. So there's something going on between you and another person is what I'm seeing here. This can also be you, well, it's you and yourself, and it can also be with you and another person. What I'm getting is that there's like something that started to happen where you were like, I'm familiar with this pattern, I don't want to go in that direction, and it took you looking at this and reflecting on this to be like, I don't like the way that this affects me when I do this or when I don't do this, or when I, like, my shadow starts taking control of what I'm doing. So I'm seeing you like either needed to set boundaries with yourself or you needed to set boundaries with another person. Because I'm seeing you be like well aware that something was going on here and there was like not a good feeling about it. Whether this be something you were doing or something that somebody outside of you had been doing. And I'm seeing that you actually reflecting on this and taking accountability for yourself within this situation. It wasn't the easiest thing to do, but it was very necessary in order for you to overcome this situation, which I'm seeing you be very capable of, but it was a matter of actually looking into it so as not to fall back into an old pattern, because this is really how you get out of that. But what I'm seeing is that in sort of like revealing this thing to you, it could have brought to light something that really became a catalyst for this situation. For some of you, this is I'm getting that, like, with this reading, for some of you, this is going to make very clear sense. For others of you, if this is not making sense, then this reading may not be resonating for you right now. Just know that you're going to understand this if it's resonating for you currently, okay? Even though this like seems kind of general right now. What I'm getting is that you could have really been feeling caught up based off of like your history. So if you could like wipe the slate clean and be here in the present moment, something may not have been an issue for you. But because of its tethers to the past, I'm seeing that's really what was like doing it to you mentally here within this. And I'm seeing you really reflecting on like, how do I want to enter into this situation in a way that feels right for me? And I'm understanding that I need to set boundaries with myself and or another person. Because I'm seeing that my shadow is just making things, it's like convoluting things here. And I'm seeing too that for some of you, there was a very strong tower that was linked to this, feeling like something even imploded. This feels personal, something imploded. So you're like, why did it have to be like that? Like, why did things go in that direction? And I'm seeing you like sort of tracking this backwards and being like, oh, it was because I did this and this and that over there. And it was because my shadow was making those choices for me. And now that I'm like rewinding the tape, I'm understanding that if I had done this differently, it wouldn't have led to this tower. And then moving forward, you're not going to have to go through this. So this is like a recognition, but it can be hard to reflect on it because the shadow is like, no, this is the best way to do it. But there's like something that wasn't completely transparent about a situation that was unfolding. And now this is that reflection on, I understand like what was motivating me to do things in that way. And I'm understanding how it really like convoluted this whole, it just brought so much unneeded like duress into this situation that was unfolding. But I'm getting that now you're like realizing and recognizing the patterns of why that even occurred to you, why this motivation was even inspired within you to do things in this way. And now you're coming back to a point where you're like, now this is becoming very familiar to me, that if I do things like with this agenda, it's always going to lead to a tower for me. And if I don't allow that to be in the driver's, if I don't allow this to be in the driver's seat anymore, I won't have to go through towers anymore, because I'm being honest with myself and I'm being honest with those around me. And I'm taking accountability. So there's like an integration and a symmetry that's happening here that had not been here within this situation. And for some of you, this has to do with your relationship with another person. You've been in like, you've had a relationship with this person for a while. Again, I'm seeing like your history definitely play a key factor in this. Like I'm seeing it be very influential for you when it came to what was unfolding and why you were doing what you were doing. But it was like shadow motivated, which I'm seeing you be recognizing that now. But if you hadn't taken the time to reflect on this, this wouldn't have been something that would have been like on your radar, because you could have convinced yourself that you were doing something for other reasons, but I'm seeing it was really your shadow. How you're going to know that it's your Seven of Swords, which is like your saboteur energy, is that you're not going to be being honest. You may be hiding things, you may be editing, you may be like manipulating things, and it can even be in a subtle way. And it always starts with your relationship with yourself, and then it sort of butterfly effects to the people that you're connected with as well. And for some of you, this did also affect another person that you've been connecting with. But I'm seeing like you've reflected on what was going on here, taken accountability, and you're understanding like why the tower happened, and you're like, okay, I see that even though it may feel easier when I'm in the process to do things like this, it always is going to end in a tower, and I don't want to have to experience that anymore. So I'm actually seeing you get over a tower now. So the tower has already happened, and I'm seeing you move beyond it now, but this whole thing needed to be recognized. I'm hearing like categorized and filed away, so you don't have to be in this pattern anymore, so it becomes a choice for you rather than a subconscious thing, rather than a shadow process. Okay? All right, quick reading. With that being said, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Hold on. I'm seeing Virgo, Mars, Sun, Cancer, Pluto. I was hearing Taurus as well. And also Jupiter. All right, guys. Thank you for connecting. I will catch you guys next time.